We are joined by the one, the only Monica Garcia.
Oh my gosh, what an intro. Thank you.
Reality Von Teese is in the house, honey.
She is here.
How are you?
One
Welcome
of five.
to One of Five.
Thank you.
You know, but the only one to make it on the show, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, one of them made a little cameo.
one of them made a little cameo.
Yeah.
But you know, like, okay, so we can kid around and say Reality Von Teese is in the house. But you know, listen, you started this account.
Yeah.
You befriended Jen. You worked for her. She went away. You got yourself on the show. Here you are. You know, I feel for all of your interviews that you have done,
Yeah.
no one has really asked, like, how are you? Because that is just a lot to happen in like a short period of time.
Thank you for asking that.
You're welcome.
I'm okay right now. You know, it's been some time since Reunion has aired. That was the hardest part of all of it, to be honest. And I was not okay after Reunion. That was brutal. But I'm doing okay now. Thank you. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, looking back, you know, I feel like there's so much that's been said, but I feel like before we talk about some things that are going on now,
Yeah.
and, you know, I feel like just in terms of the timeline of it all, because I
Yes.
feel like there is some, you know, confusion about it all.
Yeah.
But I feel like people are still confused. Like, when did you start this account? Like, and I've watched the show, I know all about you, of
Yeah.
course, but like, did you start this like season 1?
No.
Okay.
So, okay. We did not start this page until, honestly, it was right before season 2, I want to say. So I met Jen first. I was her friend first, and then I started assisting and then stopped. That's when the page started. So the timeline of it is Jen and I were no longer talking, nothing, when the page was started.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I feel like there's still confusion out there regarding
There's
that
so
matters.
much confusion
Yeah.
regarding this entire situation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like the show, the finale, the reunion really answered a lot of questions, to be honest. So
I don't think it really did either. You know,
No.
just like these might seem like minutia questions, but I
Yeah.
feel like they're kind of important, right? So
Yeah.
like you met Jen, worked
Yeah.
for her, weren't speaking to her, and then the account started,
Yes.
and it started with other people
yes.
as well.
Yes.
And it really started, you know, it started targeting her in the beginning. So when did you then start to, you know, because the account did brought into like Meredith and Lisa, like when did that start?
I don't feel like it did. I would love to see where we did that. The only time we talked about those women was in a positive light, or we were saying stuff that Jen had said about them. So it wasn't like we were targeting the women ever. They actually, during Reunion, when they did show on the screen some nasty whatever, that wasn't even Reality Von Teese. That was like a different page. I don't even know who ran that one or what that was or whatever, some other Bravo page. That wasn't even from us. So I don't feel like it ever was about them. Maybe that's why they're mad. I don't know. I don't know.
Right. So, like at the reunion, when they put up those screenshots and said, you know, you said this about Meredith, or you guys say it really that wasn't even Reality Von Teese.
No. I will tell you right now,
Interesting.
when we started the page, we specifically said we're not coming for the other housewives. This was about Jen, and we didn't want to start a war with all of the housewives on that franchise. That's not what it was about. It was literally about exposing Jen, how she treated the people around her. When they posted stuff on the screen that was mean, it was resharing what Jen had already said. So, and you know, that's when Heather said, well, thank you. Thank you for doing, and it's like, girl, what are you mad about? You're on a reality show. All your shit is going to live on repeat forever. So me and the other people resharing stuff, like, get out of the reality TV world then if you don't like that.
Right. It kind of comes, it's par for the course,
Yeah.
right? When did you want to say something like then, like at the reunion when they're showing all these, you know, screenshots and you're like, this isn't Reality Von Teese? Or did you? I mean, we all know how editing
I did say
works.
that. Yes. I did say that. It was not shown. I was like, that's not even Reality Von Teese. That's not from that page. Da 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 da. But yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is edited out, and
right.
Yeah.
And we all know how it works. Did you? I mean, now that this is said and done, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are your overall, putting Reality Von Teese aside for a minute, you know, like,
Yeah.
what was your experience just like overarching on the show? Like, how would you describe the whole experience? And it's a loaded question.
It really honestly is. It's such a loaded question because I honestly feel like it wasn't terrible. Production was amazing. Bravo was amazing. Andy Cohen was amazing. The women were not. So, you know, and that's not even all of them. I think we all know who I'm talking about. But it's not easy to be the only new girl coming into this group of women. That wouldn't be easy for anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was definitely an uphill battle for sure.
I think it's hard, right? Like when you're a newbie on a cast of, you know, and we'll take Angie out of it for a second because she was new, but not really, you know, you're really.
Definitely not really. She was there from season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're really coming into this group
Yeah.
unknown, and that's hard anyway, even if this whole thing didn't happen.
Yeah. It's brutal. You know, it's kind of like you're the new kid on the playground, you know, and everyone's already established and they have this, you know, unity and bond, if you will. And so, yeah.
Did you feel like, do you regret anything with Reality Von Teese? Like, do you feel?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
And I'm not saying you should.
oh no, but I do. Do I regret everything? I mean, to be completely honest, yeah. I really actually do. It happened and there's nothing I can do to change that, so you just have to own it. But if I could go back, I would redo it. Absolutely. Because, I mean, look what happened. And I don't think I was myself completely in that situation. I definitely let it overtake me. All of us did. I think all of us in that situation behaved in a way that we wouldn't be proud of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just kind of became this big monster, you know?
It became this big monster, you know.
Yeah.
Was it, you know, because it was implied, you know, in the finale and afterwards, you know, that this was your master plan. You know, your master plan was to befriend Jen, you know, and that's why I really asked about like the timeline, you know, because it was implied, you know, that
okay.
like to befriend her.
Yeah.
You know, I think people, look, it was possibly one of the best hours of reality TV ever.
It was intense,
I feel
yeah.
reality, you know, and I do this for a living, and I'm not just saying this because you're sitting next to me. I have talked about this on this podcast many times. Like, I think it's the greatest thing ever, personally, just from an entertainment point of view.
Yeah.
You know,
It was great. Yeah, it was. I mean,
and
like,
not
it
even
was.
at your expense. I think people are, you know, but so like there is this, you know, narrative out there that, right, like you were this mastermind of like, let me start this account,